Today we're going to be going over how to learn to put together your trombone for the beginner band and how to take care of your horn and make sure that you don't accidentally do something to it where you can't use it anymore and where it will always be in tip-top shape. Alright, so this is a trombone case. They come in a lot of shapes and sizes, but generally they're all long and skinny. And whatever side is the top side is usually going to have this little logo on it. And so you open up your little latches here. Some people have zippers. And you open it up to where your bell section is on the bottom and your slide is up here in the section you just opened, okay? So you can undo these little locks if your case has these. And this is called the slide section, right? Every slide has a lock. You can see right there. You can twist it shut and it doesn't open. You can twist it open where it moves, right? What we want to do every time you take your horn out of the case is make sure that it's locked. If it's unlocked and you take it out, your slide may come out. So we want to keep our slide locked, okay? And then this is our bell section. If you notice right here, it's got a screw on it. And that is how we connect our slide to our bell section. So when you take your horn out of its case, you take your bell section in your left hand, you take your slide section in your right hand, and you put them together like that, okay? And then you screw it shut just as tight as you can, but not too tight so that you can't undo it, okay? That's how you put your horn together. And then you get your mouthpiece, and you hold your horn with your left hand like this, and you put your mouthpiece in just like that, and just a little turn. You don't have to hit it. It might get stuck and you don't want that to happen, okay? So now your horn is all put together. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to take care of your trombone. Just about once a week you should be able to lubricate your slide, and if your trombone has a valve, what this section is called right here, and it has a button, you should do that also about once a week. And then these part of your horns is called a tuning slide. If you have a valve on your trombone, you're going to have two tuning slides. One at the top that's usually skinnier, and one at the bottom that's usually a little bit fatter. If you don't have a valve, you'll just have the one tuning slide. Now we're going to talk about how to take care of each part of your horn. First, the most important thing in your trombone is the slide. It comes in two parts. We'll unlock it. Your inner slide, which is this part right here, and your outer slide, okay? When we take care of our slide, we put what's called slide grease on it once a week, and we take the inner slide all the way out, and we put our outer slide off to the side. Now, your inner slide at the end here has a little marking called a stocking from here to the bottom, and it's a little bit wider than the rest of the slide. So what we do is we get some slide grease, whatever kind that you can find at the music store, and you just put a little bit there, not too much, and a little bit there, okay? And then what you do is you get your outer slide again, and you put in one side, just like that, and you work it back and forth, and try and rub all the grease around. And then you do the other side. Real gently back and forth, and then you do both. And make sure you see our slide lock here lines up with our slide lock here. We don't want to get our slide locks on different sides. Then we work it back and forth. Now we've greased our slide, and now we put our slide grease away, and now we get a water bottle. And what we do is we take our slide almost off, and we spray it just like that. Then we do the other side. And you slide it back and forth. Now your slide is ready to go. And next, we're going to do our valve. If your trombone has a valve, what you do is you get something called rotor oil. It's special for trombones and French horns. You don't want the same valve oil that a trumpet player would use. That's called piston valve oil. So you take your little cover off if you have one, and you put just one little drop there, and you close it again. Be very careful not to scratch the outside. And then, you take your tuning slide for your valve, which is usually the taller skinny one, all the way out, and then you put rotor valve oil into the tuning slide. Just a few drops, and then you work it back and forth to get all the grease in. And you want to put the grease in the same side where the valve is. And then you put your tuning slide all the way back in. And some trombones are a little bit more difficult than others. There you go. You should do that about once a week. And then your trombone tuning slides, you should get a thicker kind of grease. I have something called slide gel, and you just put a couple drops on either side and work it back and forth. And you can only do that about once a month and you'll be okay. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how you should sit when you play your trombone. You should never sit all the way back in your chair and lean back, and you should never sit hunched over like this either. What you should do is you should sit just a little bit forward in your chair so you don't touch the back, and sit as tall as you can so you stretch your lungs out and give yourself room to breathe. Okay? So now we're going to put together our horns. I'm going to put our mouthpiece in gently. We're not going to tap it in because it'll be just fine. We have our slide in our right hand and our bell in our left hand. And it goes together just like that. And now we got to be careful while we screw it in not to accidentally knock it out. And we get it just finger tight. And then we make a finger gun with our left hand. Okay? Kind of like the shape of an L. And we put our pointer finger around the mouthpiece. And we put our thumb on the trigger. And if you don't have a trigger, it just goes right on this bar right here. So you go like that. And then your other three fingers just wrap around just like that. And then your right hand, you make just 3 fingers and you grab the slide like that. Okay, now we're going to unlock it. Be very careful. And your trombone sits on your left shoulder. And you don't want to point at the ground, and you don't want to point towards the sky either. Just a little bit under, straight out. Okay? And you see how I'm sitting up when I play? And then the mouthpiece goes right on my lips. And then when we're done playing, we lock it and we put it back in our case.